Anthony Davis has a sore Achilles, and sore is the key word. They're saying it's no more serious than that. He didn't have an MRI. He had ultrasound. That's a good sign for Lakers fans that they don't think it's that serious. But I'm saying this, Rob. They need to sit him down as long as is necessary to get that thing right, because we know it's about winning a championship for them. And without him, even though people have said, and I've said it, you've said it, he has been down offensively and rebounding-wise this year. Not playing as well as he should and as well as we expected offensively, but defensively, he's been tremendous. And that is a huge part of the Lakers' success. They can't win a championship without him, in my estimation, so they need to make sure he gets it right.
I agree with that, but my issue is, Chris, that I'm disappointed in his season from this standpoint. He should have been like, okay, he got the monkey off his back. He's won a championship. I understand LeBron James in season, what is this, 18?
18, yep.
To step back or take your foot off the gas. Do I understand that? I understand that. But this was a chance for AD to take that next step, Chris, right?
We expected it. We all expected it.
Right, that he could have been going like, I'm going to win the MVP now.
Right.
I can just go out and play and put up numbers. We know we're going to be in the playoffs. We know we're going to be one of the top 2 or 3 seeds in the West, and it doesn't matter. There's no home court. You know what I'm saying, Chris? You can just go out and put up numbers and bash and do everything that you can possibly do for people to say Anthony Davis has arrived. He's won the championship. There's no more of that pressure. Now he can just go out and play and be ready come playoff time. And we didn't get that Anthony Davis. We got the cut rate dialed back Anthony Davis. And now, we're talking about an injury. So this has been a disappointing year for Anthony Davis, to me, after winning a championship.
I agree with everything you said. I expected him to be in that MVP hunt. But you know who's not dialing it back? LeBron James. LeBron has played over 40 minutes in each of the last 3 games for the Lakers. Now, granted, they were in overtime. One of them was double overtime. But still, at 36 years old, 18th season, as you mentioned, he is going all out. And some people are questioning why in the world is LeBron playing these minutes. Now, look, in fairness, he's only averaging 34.7 minutes a game. That's about the same as he did last year. Both of those are career lows. So he isn't, playing as much as usual. He has dialed it back a little. But, Rob, I'm going to say this. And to me, shame on anyone who would criticize LeBron for this. LeBron is not dialing it back. I think his minutes will go back to 35, 36 a night. But he is still going all out because, yes, he wants to win championship. Yes, that's the main thing, the most important thing to him. But he also is chasing individual numbers. And I'm not mad at him for it, not in the least bit. He's got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time scoring record in his sights. So that's why he's putting it up, and averaging 25 points a game. And I'm not mad. Any competitor is going after these things. Any player that, individual awards don't matter. It's either one of 2 things. They're lying or they're a role player. And they long accepted the fact that, I'm not getting any of the individual awards. I'm not an all-star. I'm not going to, average 20 points a game. So it's easy to say it then, but if you're a superstar, you're an all-time great, you're going for this stuff, and God bless LeBron for doing it, Rob. I got no problem with him having his sights on the all-time scoring record.
But it tells you a bigger thing, Chris. It tells you that LeBron, despite him saying, you remember when he said, he remembered when he became the GOAT when they came back from 3-1?
I think the fact that not many people bought into that, he say, all right, I got more work to do.
He knows he has more work to do. That's what I'm trying to say to you, is that he knows even if he gets to 6 championships, which I don't think he will, but even if he did, just say he won 6 championships, he still has 6 losses, so he needs numbers, Chris, and records to try to take away from those 6 losses. That's what this is. He's building a case and trying to fix his resume. So he has the whiteout out. he's trying to figure out, okay, how can I cover up these 6 losses? Well, maybe if I'm the all-time leading scorer, and maybe if I did this, and maybe if I win another MVP when I'm 40 years old, I can kind of convince people that I was great and my longevity. Chris, so I get all that, but it does tell you that he knows he's not the GOAT. How about that?
I don't know if it says that. I'm going to be honest. Well, he said it, so I don't know that I even have to, try to emphasize this, but I think he thinks he's the GOAT. Whether he'll come out now and say it or not.
I don't believe that he still does.
I do. One, he said it, 4 years ago or 3 years ago,
Yeah, but you know what? After that Last Dance documentary came out about Jordan, you remember how all those millennials, Chris, those weren't the ESPN poll.
The thing.
Wasn't 40 and 50-year-olds on that poll.
Right. He recognizes that most people don't think he's the GOAT.
Okay.
I'm with you there, but I think in his heart of hearts, he thinks he's the GOAT. But he is. You need to build up your case because Jordan's got his case. One of the things LeBron's gonna have is longevity, and you're right. It's a lot to say he'll get the 6 rings, but if he does, he's got the 6 rings. Yeah, 6 losses, but he's been to 12 finals if he gets there. And then he could be the all-time leading scorer, the only guy in the top 5 in assists and top 5 in scoring. Like, that would be huge. So he does have to build up his resume in ways that combat the advantages that Michael Jordan has. So it's, like I said, he's going all out. I'm with it. He's actually playing pretty good defense this year, too. So LeBron James going for a championship, but also individual accolades. We welcome in the Fox Sports NBA analyst, host of the Bucher and Friends podcast, our good friend Ric Bucher. What's up, brother?
What's up,
gentlemen?
Rick?
How are we?
It's been too long, my man.
Yes, good to have you on.
That's not my fault. You guys know where I am. My number has changed.
That's Rob's fault. That's Rob's fault.
Rob G.
Rob
Parker.
We'll move on for that, Rick. We got so much NBA to get into. I can't wait to hear your opinions. Let's start here because Rob and I just talked about it. Kevin Garnett's comments that guys 20 years ago, not 60 years ago,
20
years ago could not play in today's NBA. Your thoughts?
It's probably one of the most inane things that I've heard, and we have a lot of inane topics to get thrown out there. But if you took those guys and you parachuted them into today's game, if you took them as they were and then said, hey, you're going to play right now, yeah, you know what? The game is played different. The game is played at a much faster pace than it was. But if you're asking me if I took one of those guys and I allowed him to prepare and to condition and to get ready to play this game as it's played, would they be able to play? Absolutely, they would be able to play. It's a matter of the game was different then. I mean, look, when I first started covering the league, guy was drafted, no matter who he was, no matter what he did at the college level, he had to put on 20, 25 pounds of muscle to be able to just get his shot off. A guy like Steph Curry would have had to change himself physically in order to play. Now we see everybody. I was trying to think who it was. Frank Kaminsky. I'm watching him run up and down with the Phoenix Suns, and I'm going, he wasn't even that skinny in college. Like, guys have gone the other direction, and it's because of how the game is played. So this idea, and vice versa. Like, if you took the majority of guys in today's game and you asked them to play in the 90s, you just parachuted them in, they wouldn't be able to play. I mean, we'll get to Steph and all that, but like, you had to be able to physically carve out your space and get guys off of you to be able to get a shot up. That doesn't exist anymore.
And Rick, we talk about it the same with Michael Jordan, where you used to be able to touch him defensively. Yep. Now, if he played today, you couldn't hand check him, right? That's a foul. And you're going to tell us that if threes became a part of the game, he wouldn't wind up being a great 3-point shooter? Yes, he would. He would adapt.
Without question. I mean, look, he was a 2-guard who developed a big man's game in order to function. So you're telling me that the guy who just ran through the league when he first came in. I mean, don't look at Jordan in the late 90s and say, could that guy function? Look at Jordan at the beginning of his career and what he was doing to people. He would have savaged people because he would have continued to play that style and simply added a 3-point shot to it. That's what I think is the great disservice to the players in the past. Even, like we don't talk about Larry Bird or I mean we can go down the line. The Dana Barros. I mean, those guys who were great shooters then, who took 1 or 2 threes a game, and now we see Marc Gasol and Vucevic and like any number of guys who can knock down threes. It's just it's silly the idea that those guys who were shooters back then wouldn't have been tremendous shooters in today's game.
Well, Rick, this wasn't De'Aaron Fox. This was Kevin Garnett saying it. That's what the thing that shocked me the most was KG. What? I mean, quickly, Bam Adebayo is a star in today's game and doesn't shoot the three. You gonna tell me KG couldn't have been better than Bam Adebayo today?
Yeah, I don't know. I will say this. I mean, and maybe it's just it's the effect of age on KG because I've felt it myself. Like when I get tired watching guys go up and down at the pace. I'm watching Magic Warriors last night, and the pace was just so fast, up and down, nonstop. I was like, oh my God, that was. I mean, maybe KG's just feeling that. He's like, God, that would have worn me out playing that way.
Right, and guys today don't play as many minutes either. When we covered it, 38, 39 minutes wasn't unusual to average.
Oh no, Like if you go back, there was a point at which there was, I think I looked at it one time, there was like 15 or 20 guys who averaged 40-plus minutes a game for the season. And this was at a time where playing 82 games was a badge of honor. You didn't sit out. Even if you were dinged up, it was like, whether it was public, media, there was you were discouraged from doing that. And today, it's completely accepted that you're going to take a game off now and then. There's so much that has changed with the game and the mentality of the approach to the game. Never mind the advanced sports medicine and everything else. That I just comparing eras and suggesting, the other one that gets me is that Jordan played against plumbers and
nobody's right.
And janitors. Right. It's like, no, you know what he did is he made guys look like plumbers and janitors.
Right.
That's a good way of looking at it.
There.
Hey,
quickly, I know. Go ahead, Rob.
I want to ask him about Steph. I know he's off to a hot streak, playing really well. Yeah. And then people are talking about MVP. I don't see how he could be in an MVP conversation with that team because there's going to be other guys playing with better teams in for a chance at a championship. What chances do you think he has of winning an MVP?
Well, I stepped in it because I was one of the first. It was like I'm looking at my Twitter feed, and when I open it, it was like Steph. And I finally tweeted out something, because I'm all for positivity. We don't have enough of it on social media. But it was it was overwhelming. And I made, I'm not going to say it was a mistake because it was my timeline and I was responding to it. I said, I've never muted anybody for positivity, but the gushing over Steph may make me rethink that policy. And, Dub Nation just came out in full force and let me have it. But what I found is I did mute a few select voices, and now I can watch and be happy. But look, what he does is just amazing. It's flat out amazing, and I love to watch him play. The spirit with which he plays. But as you said, Rob, when people start to talk about MVP, I don't have a problem with people acknowledging that Steph is great and that without Steph, this team wouldn't be able to do anything. But they're projected to win 37 games.
I know,
okay?
It's ridiculous.
There was a great uproar when Russ Westbrook averaging a triple-double and the Thunder won 47 games. People thought that was a major outlier. So I just look at it and go, you can talk about how great he's playing, but the idea that he's going to win MVP is just a bridge too far. So why do we have to go there? Why can't we just appreciate that he's making a bad team competitive as opposed to, hey, you know what, he's playing as well as he did in his MVP years previously. I don't care what the stats say because the game is atrocious right now. He's not playing at that level. I mean, he's playing great and he's doing amazing things, but at the risk of ticking Dub Nation off, I feel like my job is, I've been around this for a while, I've watched it. When people say ridiculous things, whether it's KG or, a Warriors, follower or media person, I feel like it's my job to go, hey, you know what? Let's put this in context, and this ain't right.
Rick, let's get to the Lakers. How concerned should they be about Anthony Davis's sore Achilles?
Well, Achilles, obviously, we saw with KD. I mean, that's always a tricky injury. I don't see them being concerned as of right now. Certainly, they need him healthy at the end of the year. And let's face it, this is AD's MO. I mean, he's never fully healthy or has not been through the course of a season. And I kind of like what they're doing right now. They look like a team that's won a championship and knows exactly how much energy they have to spend in order to win a game, and they're not spending an ounce more than that. They look indifferent for 3.5 quarters, and then they seem to look at each other and go, okay, shall we play the defense we're capable of playing? And they lock down and get the job done in spite of the fact that they don't have AD out there. So I feel as if, his absence is forcing a lot of other guys to step up and do what they can do. And I think that's a great learning curve for them. It's only going to make them tougher once he comes back. So unless something happens, I'm looking at this as just preventive medicine.
All right, that's Ric Bucher, Fox Sports NBA analyst. Check him out on his podcast, Bucher and Friends. Thanks
for the knowledge,
brother.
Is that like Fox and Friends, Rick? I just want to know whether or not.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I'd probably say no.
Okay,
Rodney, I don't know that Rodney Hood was on my last one. Luke Kennard's going to be on my next, and I don't think the political leanings are quite the same. As
I didn't think so coming from the Bay Area, but I just had to ask. All right,
quickly,
I appreciate
Rick,
you asking, Rob.
Quickly,
way to cross that T and dot that I.
MVP right now, quickly, LeBron or Joel Embiid?
That's a good question. I would side with LeBron, and maybe part of that is because I think he deserved it last year, and I'm thinking, but I like the idea of Embiid being right there. Probably what the overall record that the Lakers have gives LeBron the nod.
All right, that's our man Ric Bucher. Thanks a lot, brother. We appreciate it.